Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to anybody tapping in. I am checking in from Houston at 11 weeks postpartum with this guy. Good morning and good morning, good morning. I have YouTube family here and I have TikTok family here. So just checking in with you guys. Good morning, good morning. As you guys tap in, please let me know how you're doing, how your baby is doing. If you're postpartum, if you're pregnant, if you're not pregnant, if you're a mom, if you're not a mom, if you're just tapping in to connect, just let me know what you guys have going on. I forgot to grab his wipes. Good morning, pretty simple. Good morning, mama, how are you? How's baby? How are you doing this morning? It's early Saturday morning, high quality. What do y'all have going on? I did not get a lot of sleep last night personally. Good morning. I was up every couple of hours with him feeding. I mean, I feel like he still doesn't have a schedule. Like it'll vary night to night whether or not he's waking up every 2 hours, every 3 hours, if he's drinking a whole bottle, if he's not drinking the whole bottle. It really does vary night to night. Good morning. It's just Jayla. Good morning, mama. She says, here currently chilling with my baby, knocked out on my chest. Oh my God. Isn't that the best, man? It's just like the most calm part of your day when you're gonna get to actually sit there, relaxed, you're relaxed. I remember a mom mentioned on TikTok, I'm sure you guys have seen this mom as well. She's very funny. I wish I knew her name. She says, sitting and doing skin to skin or doing contact sleeping with your baby is doing something. And I know sometimes we feel like maybe we're not doing something because we're not up moving around the house or we're not walking around with the baby or something like that. But she said, and I love that she brought that out, that doing that contact sleeping with your baby is doing something and that is showing up for your newborn. So shout out to you, Jayla. Thank you so much, mama. She says your baby is so adorable. So ladies, let me tap in real quick. Buenos dias, flaca. Good morning, Rendro from the Mo. Good morning, Deanna. Hey, mama, how are you? Deanna just had her baby, you guys. She is 3 days postpartum, really emotional. My baby is in the NICU and I feel empty. Well, we're sending you a lot of love, babe. That's not an easy thing to do. We have a lot of moms who have the same experience, so you are not alone. Myself, I also experienced that. And let me tell you, it's not an easy thing. So your emotions are valid. It's very difficult for you to be separated from your baby so early on and not being able to hold. I think you had did you have a little boy or a little girl? And I apologize for not remembering that detail. But not being able to hold your baby, sometimes our babies are hooked up to different wires and tubes in NICU. Sometimes they have the breathing thing going on. Sometimes they have a feeding tube. So it's not easy at all. And shout out to you for having the strength to go through that. So continue to tap in. I'm just going to go through the comments and let us know how you're doing, Deanna, and let us know how baby is doing as well. Let me make sure that I greeted everybody here in the chat. Pretty simple, high quality. Good morning, mamas. Good morning. Thank you so much for the compliment, love. She says, LOL, story of our lives. I'm doing the same. So high quality myself and just Jayla, we're all here chilling with the babies, hanging out. Thank you, ladies, for tapping in and for being here. Breeze World, welcome back. Mama Breeze World says she wants more kids. Oh, no, do I want more kids? Not in the plans, to be honest. Definitely not in the plans. This little guy, I went through the ringer with this labor, you guys. For me personally, and don't get me wrong, it was relatively easier than a lot of women's labors and deliveries, but it was not a experience that I want to put my body through again, if I'm just being plain. Okay, so let me before we get started, you guys, I know that we check in a lot usually when we do these lives. I don't know how many returning moms we have here in the chat, but I want to take a second, y'all, to shout out some of the comments on the YouTube video that I posted. I posted the same video on TikTok, but I got a lot of responses on YouTube. And there are so many moms, the video was just asking, hey, postpartum moms, how are y'all doing, y'all? And some of these messages are heartbreaking. So I really just want to take a second to shout out these mamas, man. We have so many women out here, whether they're first time mom, second baby, fifth, sixth, seventh baby, that are going through so many different scenarios. And sometimes we can get caught up in our own. And again, you guys, if you're just tapping in, if I'm switching from screen to screen, it's because I have TikTok and YouTube going, trying to make sure I touch base with both families at the same time. But again, wanting to show those mamas some love. because a lot of times we're going through postpartum or we're having an experience that seems very unique to us and it can feel very alone. So let's show them some love before we start our chat. There are quite a few comments and I want to read them all to you guys, just in case anybody else can relate to what these women are experiencing, or just in case y'all want to tap in and show them some love as well, okay? So real quick, I'm just going to go through these comments. Good morning, Esther. Hey, mama. I'm just going to go through these comments real quick on the TikTok side, and then we'll get started reading some of these YouTube responses from these moms out here, man. And it's, again, yes, a couple days ago, I did a live on my lunch break, and y'all, I was feeling emotional for these ladies. So back to Deanna. She had a baby boy. Congratulations. Congratulations. High Quality says, congrats, Deanna. It'll get better. Absolutely 1000%. Rendra from the Mo says, hey, little baby, are you reading the comments? Are you reading the comments, Papa? Can you say good morning? Can you say good morning? All right, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. Deanna had a baby boy again, you guys, and big shout out to her. Congratulations from the chat to you, Deanna. Skyland says, oh my God, she is beautiful. She's a he. But you know, it's so funny. It's so hard to tell. It's so hard to tell sometimes when they're so small if it's a boy or a girl. So that's always really cute when we mix that up. He reads everything. Good morning, Mama. Good morning, Esther. Esther always shows love. Shout out to Esther. No worries, Skyland. I totally get it, girl. Little Brett, welcome back, Mama. She says, oh, what's his name? His name is Mayak. Deanna says, baby boy is doing amazing, just needing a couple more tests done. So shout out again to Deanna. Her little one is in NICU, and she is 3 days postpartum. High Quality says, hi, handsome. Thank you, Sky. Little bro got so much hair. Good morning, Kate. Good morning, Caitlin. Good morning. Good morning, Lydia Mayak, M-A-Y-A-K. So again, you guys, if you're just tapping in from the TikTok side, or if you're just joining us here on YouTube, we're going to go through really quickly quite a few comments. There are 60 of them at least, and I want to say at least 50 of those are women sharing their experience. So I want to maybe not go through all 50 at once, but I at least want to touch base with probably about a dozen of them. So let's get started on that, you guys, and shout out these mamas out here. Show them some love. All right, so we're going to start with... Scroll. Gotta get to the bottom. And I got my coffee here, you guys. So we're gonna start with BPD Era. She says, I'm due in August and I'm already stressing out about postpartum depression. I had it with my son. Now he will be my first son, and it was hell. It lasted years. I feel like I'm standing outside the gates of hell knowing what I'm about to face. It's been 16 years since I had my son. Hold on, it goes on. It's been 16 years since I had my son. The U.S. pisses me off how the women are treated. We are complained about for not having babies, yet we do, and they expect us to jump for joy and go about life like nothing. Pregnancy and postpartum do a number on us physically, mentally, and emotional. So shout out to you, BPD Eris, man. That's definitely a very real experience. Pregnancy and trauma can be... Esther, thank you so much, babe. Esther always shows love, man. Thank you so much, Esther. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the rose. But BPD Eris is absolutely right, man. Sometimes we go through such a terrible experience, whether it's during pregnancy, after pregnancy, whatever the case, postpartum, whatever it may be. And then we are kind of expected. Hey, Papa, are you smiling? We are, in a sense, expected to kind of just like get back up and you know, go with the flow. And it's not an easy thing. And I do feel like that personally, that the experience of pregnancy and postpartum is sort of desensitized, or we're desensitized to it as, you know, as a whole. Specifically in the States. I can't speak for other countries. I can only speak from my personal experience. So Kat Pushkin says, our system is messed up, making moms go back to work within 3 months or sooner. It's not enough time to recover. To all the working mamas, may God bless you and give you all strength. Hope things get better for you all. Thank you, Kat Pushkin, for that shout out and that positive energy. Yaya Saltal. Sorry, honey, I'm reading your name wrong, but it's yes, Sally Tall. She says she's not doing great. Yvonne says she's sleep deprived. Truth Freeze says it was very hard at first, but things are getting better. Better sitting in the sun helps if possible. Absolutely. Get outside and get some fresh air, ladies. If you're not doing that already, get some of that vitamin D from the sun and, you know, get a little bit of energy for yourself, a little natural energy. Bernaboo says, I'm 10 weeks and you're, 10 weeks and you're already back at work again. I'm not doing well because I'm afraid to go back at work. There's so much anxiety, you know, tied to going back at work. You're leaving your baby, your body's not ready. You're worried about how you're going to hold up through the day emotionally and mentally. So there's definitely a lot tied to going back to work. It's not simply, oh, I got to get back to the grind. It's like, how am I going to respond being away from my child? How is my baby going to respond being away from me? Am I going to be able to sit at my desk or whatever your position is at your job and not cry the whole day? Am I going to be in there dealing with pain from not healing fully? Am I breastfeeding? There's so many different things that we have to juggle and figure out how to navigate when we're going back to work. So shout out to Bernaboo. Sandra, hey Sandra mama, I think Sandra has tapped into a couple of the lives, and Mayak is he's starting to babble and talk a lot more, you guys. So Sandra says, oh, she was talking to me because I mentioned that I had a little bit of pain. She told me to follow up with my OB. So thank you, Sandra. Thank you for the care and concern. I appreciate you, mama. Mama Court says she is 4 months postpartum and I'm drained. I am a mom of 5 and a wife. So I'm being pulled in every direction. So shout out to Mama Court, man. That's another thing. A lot of times women, when you have your baby, your life does not stop with your other kids. Like you fresh out. I just saw real quick before I hopped on here, there was a mom, she is a mom of 7 and she just had her 2-day-old baby. And so she's in the house, you know, cooking, cleaning, doing a thing, moving around and stuff like that. And life just does not stop for postpartum moms. And it's really, really hard to figure out how to process that mentally, how to not feel bitter about it, how to not get emotional about it, how to not feel like, you know, like, dang, like, what about me? Like, I'm not okay. So shout out to Mama Court for handling her 5 babies and her marriage, the responsibilities of a mother and a wife. It's not an easy thing, man. And it's something that a lot of women are juggling out here. CC90 says, I'm 3 months. What, Papa? Come say hello. Okay. Say hello. Say hi, YouTube. Oh, say hi, TikTok. Cece says, I'm 3 months postpartum, exhausted and overwhelmed, depleted vitamin D levels, always hungry and never know what I want. Everything is dirty. All I do is clean, cook, and take care of the baby, but it looks like nothing ever gets done. On top of all this, I'm in school. Hold on, her comment goes on. I'm in school finishing my BA. My mom is guilt tripping me because I have the opportunity to put him in early Head Start, but I kind of need the relief. So Cece is 3 months postpartum. She has the opportunity to put her baby in school in daycare, but I think it's from what I'm reading, if I'm understanding, she wants, you know, to be next to him. She doesn't want to feel guilty about it, but she's studying, she has her baby with her, she's cooking and cleaning and feeling like things never get done. I mean, how many of us have that experience? It's like, dang, man, I get up every day, I'm doing my best, I'm trying to hit fire on all cylinders, but it's just like I can't keep my head above water. The house is never clean enough. I don't have enough time to study. I don't get enough sleep. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a lot to juggle. So shout out to Cece, man, for continuing her education with a new baby. That's not an easy thing. You sleep deprived, you're trying to study. That's huge. That's extremely difficult. So big shout out to her. Masego Mapusa says, it should be illegal. In South Africa, we get 4 months maternity leave. I have a 9-month-old and I can't imagine being back to work this early. For a first world country, this is barbaric. Shout out to Masego for getting that time in South Africa. Shout out to South Africa for taking care of their postpartum mommies. Instinctive Nature says, I have to say you look great. Thank you, Instinctive Nature. She says she's hanging in there. She's 16 years postpartum. So I love a little humor, you guys. That's very, very cute. Shout out to Instinctive Nature for being 16 years postpartum. Anna says, girl, I'm almost 4 months postpartum and have been struggling with milk supply. Been having to combo feed. Does anyone have any advice? So Anna is having some issues with her milk supply. So Anna, if you're tuning in or if you check in on these lives later, Body Armor is a big thing that a lot of moms have recommended, and it's that energy drink that has a lot of vitamins in it. Coconut water for hydration. Oatmeal is a big, okay, can you say hello? You wanna come sit up here for a little while? So oatmeal is a big one for milk supply, Anna, but shout out to you. That definitely puts a lot of stress on you when you're a mom and you're trying to feed your baby and get through your day-to-day life. Milk supply is definitely a big thing, you guys. All right, so I'm gonna read a couple more, and then I'm gonna tap in with the chat to make sure I'm not missing anybody and we don't get too backed up in here. Bria says, we have a blessed family of 5 boys and I'm 5 weeks postpartum. Wow. So she has 5 boys, including her 5-week-old. The mental and emotional exhaustion I feel is unreal. I want to run away. I want to run away. Can you imagine? She has 5 little boys, including a 5-week-old, and she says the mental and emotional exhaustion is unreal. So are there any other moms out there who have multiple young children, or boy moms? Like, big shout out to the boy moms, man, because boys are so full of energy, and I know they keep you on your toes. So big shout out. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, we gotta pause and give Mayak a little attention. Do a little jiggle. Do a little jiggle for the papa, okay? Okay? Okay. Hello. Hello. Okay. Papa wants some attention. All right, so last one we're gonna read for now. So again, big shout out to Bria for juggling those baby boys, man. That's a super mom. So the Shipla says, I'm on maternity leave for 5 years. My son is 7 months. He crawls everywhere. 2 days ago, he discovered he can stand up and nearby something, and I thought, I got everything together, and my back was okay once I stopped rocking him to sleep. Hold on, she says, 2 days ago, he discovered he can stand up nearby something, and I thought I got everything together, and my back was okay once I stopped rocking him to sleep. I was wrong. I'm smaller than... You want your bottle? Come, let's get your bottle. Y'all bear with me 1 second. Okay, Papa. You guys, back to what I was saying about last night, man. Okay, Mayak. Hold on, I'm getting it. Be patient. Last night was a trip for me. Every couple of hours he was up. And when I say every couple of hours, I'm waking up thinking like, dang, didn't I just feed you? Like, why are you up again? And lo and behold, it was 2 hours. So shout out to any of the moms who had a rough night. I definitely had one myself. Yesterday was crazy at work. Didn't even get a lunch break, which I usually try to tap in with you guys on my lunch break, but I didn't even get one. So imagine, it's a challenge, man. Motherhood is challenging, but some kind of way we do it, right? All right, so let me just get this bottle in him, and then we're gonna go back to sorting this last comment, and then I'm gonna check in with you guys. So y'all tap in. Let me know how you doing. Let me know what city you're checking in from. Let me know how baby is doing. Let me know if there's anything that y'all want to talk about today. Sometimes we talk about breastfeeding. Sometimes we talk about postpartum. We talk about healing. What are some things that y'all want to talk about? Do y'all want to give some tips and tricks on maybe how to manage handling the baby and getting your house clean? That's such a huge thing. Something that I've been struggling with all week was getting out the door on time. When I tell you, I'm like the last 2 days, I'm like, hey, you guys, like texting my job, like, oh my God, I'm running 2 minutes late. I'm running 5 minutes late. And that adds a lot of stress on you. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to get the kids out and get them to daycare and get them fed, like getting my daughter up in time to make sure I get her fed before I take her to daycare. Y'all share those experiences in the chat. Let me finish up this last comment. Again, she says she's on maternity leave. Her son is 7 months old and he's crawling everywhere. He discovered how to stand up. I thought I got everything together and my back was okay once I stopped rocking him to sleep. I was wrong. I was smaller. I'm smaller than I was before pregnancy just because I don't have time to sit down and have a full meal. Wow. 80% of my meals, I stand up and squat to catch him up trying to open something. And I can't baby-proof our living space because we're in the middle of moving out. Okay, so she has a lot going on. So she currently has a son. She has maternity leave for 5 years. Okay, it looks like she has a 5-year-old and a 7-month-old, and the 7-month-old is learning to walk or crawl. So he's touching and getting into everything. But mom isn't getting any sleep. She's eating. She's barely eating. She weighs less than she did before pregnancy, and 80% of her meals she's having to stand up and kind of juggle and figure out how to eat her food while tending the baby. And she can't keep him out of everything because they're moving out the house, so she can't baby-proof everything in her house. So big shout out to that mom. That's a very difficult situation because having your baby running around getting into everything, that keeps you on high alert. You don't have a moment to sit down and kind of like de-stress and decompress in the middle of moving. So just FYI, you guys, 3 of the most stressful situations in life are death, divorce, and moving. So she's not only is she postpartum, but she's also going through a move with a very active infant. So that's a big shout out to that mom, okay? All right, real quick, let's go through the YouTube chat and check in with the YouTube family. Breeze World, you were the last one I tapped in with. Tanya Birmingham, thank you so much, Mama. Welcome, welcome. Maria Vlas, good morning. She says, your baby is so slay. Thank you, honey. And welcome, good morning. Melina, he has a bunch of hair. He's so tiny. How many months is he? He is 11 weeks, so almost 3 months, actually. He was born late December. And good morning, Melina. Thank you so much for being with us. Ebony Purdy. I see a lot of new names in here, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for tapping in and for being with us today. Y'all, please share your experiences. I love to shout you guys out and make sure we show some love to your situation and whatever you're dealing with. Ebony says, he's so cute. Thank you, Ebony. Thank you, Mama. Lula Avery, welcome back. How are you? Nikki Bink, good morning. Odelia Israel says, hey, my baby boy is due June 5th, diagnosed with Down syndrome. I found your channel. It gives me hope seeing your big girl thriving. Thank you so much, Odelia. Yes, yes. So congratulations to you. Odelia is due in June, and her little boy is diagnosed with Down syndrome. So shout out to all the Down syndrome moms, all the autism moms, and big shout out to all the moms who have other children with special needs, you guys. We do have some moms out there that are children are born with really, really debilitating diseases that require for them to be in wheelchairs or require for them to have 24-hour care. So big shout out to all the mamas that are juggling that and struggling with that. But congratulations to you, Odelia. You're going to love him. He's going to be absolutely perfect when he comes out. I remember when my daughter was born and I saw her and I was just like, I couldn't expect her to be any different. And I love her so much to this day, and her personality is so vibrant. So big shout out to you. He's going to bring a lot of love and joy and light to your life, man. Ruth says, checking in from the UK. Okay, shout out to Ruth checking in from the UK. What else? What other cities and countries do we have in the chat, you guys? October Lee says, did you deal with postpartum anxiety? I'm only 2 weeks postpartum and I feel like I'm constantly crying, but dealing... So my yak is struggling with some congestion, y'all. So during feeding times, you know, the breathing and stuff like that can be a little bit difficult. But October Lee, she says, do you need a minute? Yeah. Want to try again? Okay, I think he's finished with his bottle for now. And the burp, Papa? Okay, let's burp. So again, she says, I feel like I'm constantly crying, but dealing with my own mortality and being diagnosed with postpartum. I think maybe your comment is split into 2 parts, October. I don't see that it's extended, but yes, I did deal with postpartum. I dealt with the anxiety that I felt mostly postpartum. It wasn't something that I went to the doctor for and got diagnosed, but it was just something that I could feel. Was more so because I was doing so much, right? I was trying to make sure my house, I was trying to maintain the standards that I had for my household and myself before I had the baby. And it's just like, I didn't really allow myself any grace with how much it takes out of a person to handle a newborn. So that's where a lot of my anxiety came from, is trying to make sure that I kept everything going the way that it was and not really processing that I have a whole new human being here and I need to adjust my life accordingly. So I think that it's absolutely normal for you to be feeling like that postpartum, but I always like to say tap in with your OB so that they can recommend that you go see a specialist or a professional about what you're dealing with, because some of these emotions and mood swings and things that we go through can be really overwhelming and unpredictable. So I really hope that you're able to go and talk to your doctor about that so that they can give you the care that you need. And big shout out to you, sending you lots of love and positive energy, okay? The Fit Mama says, I'm over here exhausted, but taking it one moment at a time. We have a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3-week-old. Had a C-section and will get out and walk slowly today. Okay, big shout out to the Fit Mama. So she has 2 under 2 and she has a 5-year-old. She's fresh out from a C-section and she's going to get, do you mean get out the hospital or do you mean get out the house? But she's going to get up and get out today to be out and about. Y'all, I'm still a little bit congested. Y'all bear with me. Big shout out to you and your 3-week-old and all the C-section moms, man. Having a baby via C-section and then having to get up and go back to continuing being a mom with your other children is extremely difficult. Having a C-section limits you in so many ways. And sometimes a lot of us moms may not even fully understand it if we had, vaginal births. So again, big shout out to you, Mama, for going through that and making it through that. So we got Lula Very checking in from Norway. So we got UK and Norway in the chat. We got Paula. Hey, Paula. Hey, Mama. Welcome back. Checking in again from Honolulu. And then the Fit Mama says, also, you're doing such a great job, and I'm enjoying your videos and encouragement. Thank you, babe. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me when you guys give me that kind of encouragement. I'm getting out the house today. So, yes, so she's 3 weeks postpartum from her C-section, and she's going to get up and out the house. We had another mom tap in and say, get out and get some vitamin D. So good job for you getting out of the house and getting some fresh air. I'm sure that's going to help your mental a whole bunch. So let me tap in real quick with our TikTok family, you guys. I have to scroll to find my place. And I want to thank you guys for your patience. I like to make sure I read every single comment and I tap in with everybody who's on the live. Okay, you guys. So thank you for your patience. Okay, I know Deanna, we were talking to Deanna about her baby boy. Let me see. So again, you guys, big shout out to Deanna. She is 3 days postpartum. She just had her baby boy and he is in NICU. So sending her lots of love and light and positive energy, okay? Esther always shows so much love. Thank you so much, Esther. I really appreciate you, man. Kate says, good morning. Good morning, Kate. Lita Brat, we talked about that, about his name, spelling. You guys, excuse me 1 second for 2 seconds. I'm so congested. And I'm sorry if it sounds weird. Okay, I'm coming. I might actually be ending up putting him down here in a second too. So Deanna says, I love the community you built. I love you guys for being here, man. I think it's so important that we get an opportunity to connect because, as I mentioned earlier, it can feel really lonely sometimes. And again, you guys, I'm scrolling through here on YouTube. For anybody just joining in, I am going from live to live, looking from camera to camera. So I'm not neglecting anybody. I'm just trying to read from 2 different screens. Whitney, hold on, let me fix my phone. Good morning, Whitney. She says, oh my gosh, look at that cute little baby. Esther showing some love. STG Glam, adorable. Thank you so much. Very desensitized. Absolutely, man. We are so out of touch with what women are experiencing in pregnancy, in labor and delivery, and in postpartum, 1000%. ST Glam says, other countries have 6 months to a year maternity leave. Thank you for the follow, STG. It's Ashley. Hey, Mama. She says, he's such a cutie. Thank you so much. Tati says, look at all that hair. ST Glam says, prayer, grounding, sunbathing, meditation. It was so hard for me. So ST Glam is giving us some tips here on what to do to kind of stay stable and to, balance out our emotions. So her recommendations are prayer, grounding, sunbathing, and meditation for any mamas. Victoria, thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Miss Johnson says, you have more resilience than you know. Thank you so much, Miss Johnson. And that's a big thing for a lot of moms. It's one of the most incredible things. I remember after I had my daughter, man. And so I ended up delivering my daughter on the gurney as they were pushing me into the hospital, unmedicated, first time birth. My body just ejected her. And I remembered feeling so empowered. Did anybody else have that feeling like right after you gave birth, like, dang, like, I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe my body just did that. I can't believe I just endured and went through that. But I remember feeling that very distinctly after I gave birth to my daughter. Zanaya, welcome, welcome. She says, I'm 1 month in. I'm going through it a little. Hey, mama, how are you? 1 month in, so she's pretty fresh, man. Sending you lots of love and light. How is baby doing? Kamar says, hey, baby. Hey, Kamar, how are you? Treyway, thank you for the follow. Kamar says, what a blessing you have. Thank you so much. Bria Boo says, any advice I need? I give birth in September 1st. Oh my God. Okay. So you're still, I think maybe you're still first trimester. That's amazing. Yes, I do have some advice. Please look into ways to stretch your body and prepare your hips and stuff like that for labor. I think that would be, if I could go back, that would be the biggest thing that I would prioritize, is taking advantage of the time to stretch my body and start preparing, doing those things to prepare for labor early, doing things to prevent tearing. Whether that, I've seen women do like a perineal ball massage, where you sit on like a little tiny, like a little tennis ball size thing to help stretch your perineum. I would do the vaginal massages. If I could go back, I would do that with primrose oil, has been recommended. And then make sure you are taking your, of course, you're staying on top of taking your prenatals. And when it comes time, when you get to your third trimester, like 36 weeks, if you want to start doing your raspberry leaf tea. But right now, I would just prioritize eating well if you're not having too many food aversions, and also doing those exercises to help your body as it transitions and as it grows. And if you haven't already, purchased a belly band so that when your belly does start growing, you'll have that additional back support and underbelly abdominal support as you are adjusting to carrying around that extra weight. Gemini says, cutie pie. Thank you so much, Gemini. ST Glam says, lost my mom during postpartum. Tried to extend my leave. The company fired me. Wow. Oh, man, that sucks so bad. Condolences to you, man. I'm so sorry to hear that. We had another mom also check in, ST Glam, and say that she had lost her mom and one of the other lives. So that's a very, very difficult thing to deal with, because not only are you postpartum, but you're mourning. And the one person that, you know, most of us think to reach out to be near us and help us through postpartum is our mothers, right? That's the first person. So I'm very sorry to hear that you went through that. Condolences from me and from everybody in the chat, mama. Let us know how you're doing and how you're coping. Like, what are you doing on a day-to-day? Do you have support? What are you doing to make it through this period in your life? AB says, this is random, but I love your glasses, are perfect for your face. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm really satisfied with the selection too, man. I used to wear a smaller frame, but I agree. I think these are better suited. ST Glam says, I needed surgery again due to pregnancy complications. Wow. So share a little bit with that. Let's see if we have any other mamas who had to get surgery after pregnancy complications, and see if we can tap in and get some feedback on how to navigate this time with the surgery, with the loss of your mom, with being postpartum. That's a lot to juggle, man. Alina says, hi, baby. Hey, Alina, how are you, mama? Thank you for checking in. I don't know if y'all see Miss Chin in this chat on TikTok. I got to send her a message in the background too, because I wanted her to hop on today. If anybody doesn't know, Miss Chin is a mom of two. She has a little boy and a little girl. I think she's a couple months postpartum. She's maybe less than 6 months postpartum. I can't remember exactly, but she always really gives great advice on different resources and tips and tricks about insurance. And she gave us a lot of tips on breast pumps and the different websites that you can go to, whether you're with a private insurance or like state insurance or something like that. So I want to see if anybody sees her, or if you're here, Miss Chin, and I haven't seen you. Kamar says to ST Glam, the world hates, I think you mean women. I think you mean women. It says weapon, but I think you mean women. It's so sick. So sorry about that. Yeah, ST Glam is definitely going through a lot. So sending you some love from Kamar. Queen of Houston says that baby is so cute. Thank you, mama. Checking in from Houston. I'm in Houston also. Brenda, thank you for the follow. Maya Ortiz. Hey, mama. Good morning. She said she's gorgeous. Brenda says hello. Hey, Brenda. Hey, Maya Ortiz. Corinne. Thank you so much, Corinne. Thank you, mama. Welcome. Maya Ortiz says, reminds me of my baby girl. Thank you, y'all. It's a little boy, but I'm so glad that he reminds you. He's dozing, you guys. Let me go put him down. I'll be right back. Okay. Reminds me of my baby girl. Carmack, good morning. Thank you so much for the follow. Apple user, welcome back. She says she's reading the comments. He's taking a nap now. Myra T says he's a boy. Excuse me, Queen of Houston says he's a boy. 120 says, mom of one, almost two. Let me scroll your page. Yes, please do, man. Thank you so much, 121. Good morning. Breakaboo, thank you for the following. Good morning. Y'all, and it's totally okay. Like if you mix him for a girl, he is a boy, but I totally get it. It's so hard to tell sometimes with babies, right? Like they just look like a little, they're so neutral sometimes. Brenda says, also adorable. Tanya, 16 years. How are you, mama? Good morning. Catherine, good morning, and thank you for the follow. Harlem Girl, so we have somebody checking in from NY, I'm assuming. Good morning, Harlem Girl. Armani, thank you so much for the compliment. Harlem, hey, mama, how are you? Kay says, hey, Tootie Patootie. No, hey, Tootie Pootie. I'm dead. That's cute. Ashlyn, good morning. She says, also adorable. Kybe, Beauty Ray. Hey, Kybe. Beauty Ray says, I have 5, 3 girls and 2 boys, and I'm 7 weeks postpartum. So big shout out to Beauty Ray. Again, I always love to highlight and shout out the moms who have 3, 4, 5 kids, especially when y'all are introducing a newborn and you're freshly postpartum. So big shout out to you guys. Y'all have so much strength, and that's so amazing to me, being able to juggle all of those personalities and everything else that you might have going on in your home. So again, shout out to Beauty Ray. Kybe says you're a twin. Thank you so much. Nene says, I'm struggling, but I hope it gets better. Absolutely, Nene. We have a lot of moms who give that feedback saying that it will get better. And I know sometimes it feels like when you are in the midst of it, it's not going to get any better. Every day feels hard. Sometimes it feels like the days are getting harder and harder, but absolutely it will get better, Nene. So sending you some love and positivity. Nick says, hey, Snookums, he's so cute. Thank you, Nick. Harlem is getting baby fever. She says it'll get better for you. Dee's Diaries, first time mommy. She says, last night did not seem real, with a nervous emoji, a nervous laughing emoji. I know, man. These nights are insane with these babies. Kay says, so challenging, but baby is doing good. Thank you, baby. Stay-at-home mom, for the follow. Harlem Girl says, I have a lot of questions to ask you. Please fire away. Greg says, here's another baby taxpayer. Gotta pay for. She went straight to the damn county building. Greg, let's block you, honey. I'm learning how to use the block button, you guys. Learning how to use that. Okay, let's keep it positive and respectful in the chat, you guys. Kate says, understanding my baby girl cries. Understanding my baby girl cries, sometimes it's hard, and I'm a first-time mom. Yeah, you know what? There's a guy, I don't know if any of you guys have seen, there is a guy on, maybe if I move these screens, it won't look like I'm looking at one instead of both of them. On TikTok, I don't know if he's like a doctor or a pediatrician, but he breaks down the different types of cries so that you can help identify if your baby is hungry, if they're sleepy, or what it is that they're crying for. So the one that I remember is nah. So he breaks down, like, sometimes the baby will sound like nah, nah, or the baby will sound like wah, wah. So there's different ways for you to distinguish what cry your baby is having. You guys, give me 1 second. I'm really nasally. 1 second. So definitely look into some ways. There's different videos that you can look at in different... Baby's crying. Okay, so Papa doesn't know what he wants to do. If he wants to nap or if he wants to be up. And he has some little baby boogies too, so let me tend to those. But yeah, you guys, look into it, because there are some specialists out there that can help you. Hold on, my I know. Wow. See, even if you just listen to their cry, you can hear the sound. Here, Papa. No. Okay. I don't know how to comment settings. Let me see. Allow, filter, block, mute. I don't know. Okay. But yes, Kate, it can be very difficult, especially for a first-time mom, to know exactly what your baby is crying for. And it'll come to you in time. It'll definitely come to you in time. So just stick with it, babe. You got it. And eventually it'll work itself out. As far as you understanding the baby, it'll come to you. You get to know your baby the longer they're around you. And then sometimes it just becomes second nature. Charlotte, thank you so much for the follow, mama. Princess says, oh my God, a man making a woman go right back to work after a baby is insane. Sorry, not love, 2 jobs. Sorry, not love, 2 jobs he needs. Hey, Princess. Ashley says, no kids here, but I don't mind babysitting. Hey, Ashley, good morning, mama. Thank you so much for the rose. Black Butterfly, good morning. Good morning, Black Butterfly. Black Butterfly is also a mama on here. She says, yes. She says, you're doing lives. This means you are growing, sis. Thank you so much. Shout out to Black Butterfly. Y'all go check her out, man. Queen P says, is a father around, hun, so you can get a break first time running in. Hey, Queen P. Yes, my husband is around, but he works a lot. So I do have the baby 90% of the time. And as I mentioned before, we have an agreement to not put him on lives. It just works, or on content period. It just kind of works for us. Ashley says to Black Butterfly, yes. All right, y'all, I'm going to read a couple more on TikTok, and then I'm going to tap in with the YouTube family. Thank you guys for your patience. Again, if you're just joining in, I like to make sure that I tap in with everybody, every single comment, every single person who joins. So I appreciate y'all's patience. And after we go through some of these YouTube comments, you guys, I want to hop back into this video and read out some more of these experiences, maybe another 10 experiences that postpartum moms are having around the country, around the world. And a lot of us don't have an outlet, you guys. So I think it's really important that we shout out these moms and let them know that we hear them when we see them, and they didn't just randomly just, you know, share something personal and vulnerable on the internet and it's going unacknowledged. Okay, so I'm gonna read. Black Heart Red Heart says, my 2-year-old was not happy when I came home with my new baby 2 weeks ago. Oh no, yes, your 2-year-old was the only child, and now she's sharing love, man. So that's definitely a real experience. But usually some babies adjust, man. I remember it was a little bit difficult for my daughter too, but I think that your babies will adjust, and she'll be, or he'll be, a great older sibling. That's too cute. It's Clarine. Clarine, thank you. Claire, is it Claire Renee? It's Claire Renee. Hey, mama, thank you so much for the share. I appreciate you. Okay, last comment. All right, okay, I think you may be a troll too, you guys. Let's keep it positive, you guys, in the chat, okay? Princess. Okay, I think I need to go back and mute that Greg guy too. And y'all, I'm still new to live, so I don't know all of the features and the functions of how to navigate this little page here. So if I'm moving a little slow or unsure, that's why, because I just don't know how to do all of this. And I lost my place in the chat. Okay, here we go. All right, y'all, so tapping in real quick. Last we touched base with Black Heart Red Heart, and she says her 2-year-old is still adjusting to having the new baby home. I think I got dark mode on here. Let me find my place, you guys. All right, again, we have Norway and the UK, Honolulu, Hawaii, all here on YouTube. I think I'm caught up on the chats on where is the babies? Are you, why you, what you? Hello from the other side. Hello from the other side. It says, why are you not on? Okay, listen, man. I don't listen, Linda. How do I get you out of here, honey? Remove. Okay, no sweat. Let me just get you out of here. I don't know if you're being negative. I don't know if you're being malicious. And okay. 48, Sonia says, I'm really inspired the way you take care of your kids. Thank you, 48. I think we're all, it's a learning process for all of us, man. And, you know, we do the best that we can with the skills that we have. And so I really appreciate you saying that. Justice says, are you okay, Papa? Yes, my Papa. Yes. Hmm? Justice says, I love your page. Thank you, Justice. And thank you, 48, for y'all. You got a little snot nose? Let's clean it. Let's clean it, Papa. I know. All right, relax. Okay, I'm almost done. Yes, I'm almost done. I'm gonna finish your bottle. Yeah. No? Okay. You wanna talk? Okay, you wanna talk? Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk to... Look, man. Divya says, how you manage things. I hope you get all the happiness in your life. Thank you so much, Divya. Thank you for the positivity and thank you for tapping in. Kathleen says, I've recently seen your videos and I feel so sorry for you that you're back to work and dealing with a newborn. In the UK, you get 9 months after. God bless your little man. Are you a single parent? If that's okay to ask. Hey, Kathleen, thank you so much, man. You know, but we adjust to whatever we have to in motherhood, whether that's going back to work or dealing with being a single parent. I am fortunate that that's not the case, but big shout out to the moms, man, that are handling things out here solo, because it's definitely not easy. And I'm super happy that you guys get that time in the UK. So shout out to the UK. Shout out to the UK for showing their mamas loves. Are you okay? And giving you guys a good amount of maternity leave, man. That's a blessing. Hello again, Lula. Lula says, it's so interesting to see your son who is 11 weeks. My son is also 11 weeks today, no way. But because he was 2 months premature, he is only 4 weeks developmentally. Oh my goodness gracious. Shout out to you, Lula. I know, it's crazy how when they're born premature that it delays their growth a little bit. So even though he's been out of the womb for 11 weeks, he hasn't grown, or he isn't at where the 11-week size would generally be with babies. I know exactly what you mean. That's what happened with my daughter. She was born a month early as well. Says, that's all they do. That's probably good. Kathleen says, that's all they do. That's probably good, man. So thank you guys for tapping in. Let's read a couple more of these YouTube comments from these ladies who have shared their experiences. And you guys can tap in and let us know if maybe this is something that you can relate to. But let's tap in with Memory says, I'm 9 weeks postpartum and I'm on survival mode. So shout out to Memory. Do we have any moms that also feel like they're in survival mode in the chat? What, Papa? Mama B says, thank you for asking. I'm doing okay, working on my postpartum rage. I'm just so exhausted. We talked about postpartum rage about a week ago. Do we have any other moms who are experiencing postpartum rage? I personally did have an outburst moment one night when I was so sleep deprived and I just felt so overwhelmed. And I remember just going into the hallway, you know, leaving the baby on the sofa, stepping away. My daughter was asleep, and I just allowed myself to feel those emotions. And so it was very real in that moment. And then sometimes we also feel frustrated because the bulk of the load falls on us as moms. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, we carry the baby. We're more than likely, if we're breastfeeding, we're going to be the ones who are up with the baby at nighttime. And that can be very frustrating. Even if you have support, even if you have your spouse or your mom or whomever next to you, you still carry the bulk of the load. And then throw other children into the mix, and now you're postpartum with other kids to care for. And it can feel very overwhelming and frustrating, and definitely cause some feelings of anger. So we have Olivia. She says, it's a tough road. Never mind, baby just got his shots for 7 weeks and was so sick last night and didn't sleep at all. So when the babies get those shots, we know that we're introducing them to, I don't know necessarily if it's the same for babies as adults when they put like a small amount of the virus in our system when we get vaccines. But it's very real to expect that your baby is going to be a little sore after vaccines and may even get a fever or have a, you know, a reaction to those vaccines. So big shout out to Olivia for making it through that night with her baby. It's very difficult and it can be kind of scary too, right? Because you have a young baby and the baby is sick and there's not very much that you can do for them. Annan says, I'm 7 weeks postpartum now. My baby is pretty well behaved, thankfully. It just gets hard to juggle bath and bedtime with the other 2 kids when everyone needs me at the same time. Absolutely, man. Do we have any other moms that are also kind of struggling to figure out how to juggle bath time, bedtime, feeding time when you do have other children that need your attention all at the same time? You guys tap in and let us know what your experience is with that. Sanai says, literally every day is a survival and I am a stay-at-home mom. But since our expenses are going out of hand, I think I have to find a job. I'm already worried about the whole process of finding a job and also leaving my baby behind or finding a daycare. And this is what I mean, man. There's so many different scenarios. So we have a mom right now who's currently a stay-at-home mom who may have to look into finding a job. You know what I mean? And then finding the job means that now, instead of her children having her there as their caretaker, which they've become accustomed to, not only does she have to find a job, she has to find childcare. And so going through all of that, figuring out how to get back into the workforce, figuring out how to find a childcare center that you can trust to leave your new babies with and your other kids with when you're accustomed to a certain lifestyle, that can be very difficult, you guys. So no 2 situations are the same. Whether you're married, single, have support, have a village, don't have support, don't have a village. Everybody is experiencing something on some level that is different and can be relatable. All right, so I'm gonna read one more comment, then I'm gonna tap in with the TikTok family. We have a few comments there. Are you okay, Papa? All right, so Mortal Queen says, not postpartum yet, but I'm 31 weeks pregnant with my 5th and dreading C-section recovery with 2 toddlers at home. So tap in, mom. If you are, we had a C-section mom tap in a little while ago. I think she had a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and then a 3-week-old. I apologize for not remembering your name, but she was getting outside today. She had mentioned she was gonna go outside the house today and kind of get a walk-in. Tap in if you're a C-section mom and you have younger children that you know that you're already like, oh my God, I already know how difficult this healing process is after a C-section, and now I have to go home and tend to my toddlers as well. So I'm really not going to be able to sit down or give myself the rest that I need. So tap in if you guys have had that experience or dealt with something similar. All right, you guys, so let's read some of these comments. Starting with TikTok, Ashley says, well said. Black heart, red heart. Thank you, Ashley. It says to red heart, black heart says to Ashley, he's still not having it. He don't be wanting to touch the baby. Oh, okay. This is with the mom who has the 2-year-old and she brought home her new baby. And so the 2-year-old is not having it. He's accustomed to his only child status. Okay. And I get that completely. Call me Big K. Hey, call me Big K. She says, oh, I miss my babies that small. Queen P says, is the father around, hun, so you can get a break? First time running in. I think I answered this comment, but yes, Queen P, my husband is around, but he travels a lot. So again, I'm here with the baby 90% of the time, you guys. Ashley says, what? Call me Big K says, Freedom Mom Vicks. You know what? Thank you so much, because I wasn't sure if I could use Vicks for him, the baby Vicks for him. So thank you for saying Freedom Mom. I have the Frida nose snot sucker, but I was curious about whether or not to use Vicks. Okay. All right, Papa. The Real Audrey, thank you so much for the follow, mama. Baby Bree says, aw. Thank you, Baby Bree. Ashley says, kudos. Ashley 2.0 says, kudos to all the moms. Absolutely, 100%, man. Gabby says, aw, sicky baby. I know, girl. It sucks so bad when they're so small and sick, man. Because there's very little that we can do. Which sucks. Star Bands. Thank you so much for the love, Star Bands. Lexapro. Okay, what's Lexapro? I'm going to have to look that up. Lifesaver, Lexapro. So look up, let's look up Lexapro. I have Google right here. Damn, my computer is all the way over here. Lexapro. Lexapro. Did I type it wrong? Oh, it's a kind of antidepressant. Is that correct? Is that correct? Calling me Big K. It's an antidepressant. Baby Bree says, I just started to get over postpartum depression at 8 months, and now I just lost my grandma 2 days ago. Okay, so Baby Bree just lost her grandma. We have another mom in the chat. I apologize, mama, for not remembering your name off the top of my head, but who's also postpartum, who just lost her mom. So we have a couple of moms, you guys, that are also going through mourning and grieving. So big shout out to you guys. That's extremely difficult to deal with, man, when you're still adjusting and your body is still regulating, your emotions and hormones are still regulating. I can't imagine what you ladies are going through. And grandmothers and mothers are such a huge part of your life, especially when you just had a baby. So condolences to you and your family, Bree. I hope that you guys are holding up as best as you can right now. Dominican Bella, welcome in, mama. Thank you for the follow. Liddy, thank you for the follow. Baby Bree says, felt like it set me back a little bit, but I'm still trying to push through, man. Definitely, man. Losing somebody, grandparents, parents, those are such special people in your life. So it definitely takes a little while to kind of find your footing, right? Find out, you know, how to navigate your life and how to have a new normal now that you have these people that are so significant in your world that aren't there anymore, especially with you having your little one, man. One Carter says, babies burp on their own if you sit them upright. You don't have to beat their back. And she's giving a crying emoji. You know, it varies child to child. I've had moments where I would feed him and he's sitting up and he would burp on his own, but then other times he wouldn't. So, what, Papa? Are you okay? You want to say hello? Come. Say Papa, 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 Papa. Say hi, YouTube. You say hello? Hmm? You say hi to TikTok? Hmm? Baby Bree says yes, very true. Ashley is shouting out Baby Bree. She says, sorry for your loss. Very sorry for your loss. Baby Bree says, thank you so much. Trying not to let it take the little spark. I just got back, man. Absolutely, man. Shout out to you, Baby Bree, for trying to keep it together. Definitely not an easy thing. Unknown caller, thank you so much. Ashley says to Baby Bree, of course. Freedom Fighter, thank you so much for the follow, mama. Thank you for checking in. What are y'all's babies doing right now? We see what my baby is doing. What are y'all's babies doing? How are y'all juggling your baby in this moment? Are they feeding? Are they sleeping? Are they wanting some attention? Yeah. What is it, Papa? Yeah, what is it? Yeah. The Papa? Oh, no. Oh, no, Mommy's not giving enough attention. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, too. Hmm? Hmm? Are you hot? I'm a little bit hot. Let me open this door. Damn, it's not even cool outside. Put the fan on. Again, big shout out to Baby Bree and our other mom on here who recently lost her mother. Condolences to you ladies, man. Quotation mark says, God bless you. Thank you so much. Okay, I feel the breeze now. Emma, thank you so much for the follow, mama. Life is good. Good morning. Dominican mommy, thank you so much for the follow. Lexapro was a lifesaver. Okay, so Call Me Big K says Lexapro was a lifesaver. I went through bad postpartum with my twins, currently still going through it. So Lexapro, you guys, I just Googled it very briefly. It looks like it's an antidepressant. So if you're someone who's experiencing postpartum or wants to ask your doctor maybe some questions about what would be a good medication for you, maybe look into Lexapro. Big K says it was a lifesaver for her. Magali, thank you so much. Magali says, cute baby. Thank you for the follow. Lita White. Yes, Papa. Yeah, you can. Okay, you can talk. You can say good morning. Say good morning, Papa. Say good morning. Say my name is Mayak. I'm 11 weeks old. The Bali says, girl, I'm pregnant with an almost 5-month-old after a C-section. Her sibling was born. I gotta do this verification for TikTok real quick. Okay. With an almost 5-month-old after a C-section. Her sibling was also born in September. Alrighty, so we have a mama with 2 young babies, man. Big shout out to the mamas, man, that have 2 under 2. So it looks like we have a 5-month-old and, oh no, she's pregnant. So you have a 5-month-old and you're pregnant. Okay, that's wonderful, man. I know that a lot of times, we don't expect to get pregnant so quick, or I don't know if yours was planned or not, but it can definitely be a surprise for a lot of moms when we're back to back like that. And it can be scary after you just had. Hold on. All right, hold on. You want the rest of your bottle? Yes, you do. Okay. It can be really difficult after you just had a C-section, man, to find yourself back in that back pregnant. So I want to send you some love and some encouragement. That can be very scary. I don't know what it's like to just recover from a C-section and then be pregnant again, and now your body's going to go through all of those changes in the same area that just healed. So if there's any moms in the chat that can kind of tap in and say what their experience was like if they got pregnant shortly after, freshly after recovering from their C-section, you guys show Thabal some love and let her know, give her some tips and tricks on how to maneuver that. So her second baby's going to be born in October. Okay, so she's going to have a September baby, and then next she's going to have an October baby. Ice Me, thank you for the follow, honey. Condolences to the mamas. Condolences to the mamas, Bree, and for her grandmother who recently passed away, and to our other mom who recently lost her mother. I'm so sorry. I should have wrote your name down. I apologize. Charlotte, hey, mama. Good morning. Mira, she says, you look so well put together. I love. You guys, I also want to say again, I was talking about this at my job. Someone had commented on my appearance. This is a little $8 necklace from Amazon. These little earrings are also maybe like $7 or $8 from Amazon. I can't remember. But a little bit of jewelry goes a long way for postpartum moms. So specifically, like, I know it's really hard for us to get up and get ourselves together. Sometimes it's hard for us to get a shower in during the day. But if you're postpartum, something that I did for myself and that I made a conscious effort to do was to make sure I got myself up, brush my hair back, pull my hair out of my face. Sometimes I would even fill in my eyebrows just to be at home so that I wasn't walking past the mirror thinking, who is this person? What's happening to me? Oh, I'm so depressed about my appearance. So ladies, if you have the energy, if you feel it, throw on some earrings, brush your hair back in the morning after you take your shower or whatever the case is, but make sure you're doing something to make sure that you're not completely and totally falling into the trenches. It's already extremely difficult to navigate that, but if you can do that little, give yourself that little pep just from brushing your hair, you guys, just brushing your hair and throwing on some studs, it makes such a difference in your mental space as you're going through those early stages of postpartum after you've had that baby. So thank you, Mira. Thank you for the compliment, honey. Chandra says, oh my gosh, the best age, how cute. Thibby says, Doesn't she? Beautiful as hell. Thank you so much, Mama. Thank you, ladies, for the positivity, man. I love the positivity in the chat. Tampa, we have Tampa, Florida checking in. Pink Diamond, she says, hi, I'm from Tampa, working mom of 2 under 2. So we have a working mama here with 2 young babies. Shout out to you and all the moms who are navigating the 2 under 2 trenches and also working at the same time, man. Big hats off to you, ladies. K-Strug, thank you for the follow. Dibby, thank you for the follow, Mama. So Kayla is 5 weeks, 6 days postpartum. No, 5 days. It's 5 weeks, 6 days. Pregnant with my second baby after 8 years. Kind of nervous. Shout out to you, Kayla. We love the mamas who have the age gap, man. That's so beautiful to me. So again, Kayla is almost 6 weeks into her second pregnancy, and she's kind of nervous. We know you're gonna do great, and I know it's crazy, man. After if there's such a 8-year gap between your 2 pregnancies, it's like, man, this is a whole new experience all over again. You know, it's not like, oh, I know exactly what to expect, and every pregnancy is different. So totally understand you being nervous, but I'm positive you're gonna do great. Amber, good morning, Mama. How are you? Mama Sam. Hey, Mama Sam. Welcome, welcome. How are you? Lost my place, you guys, so just bear with me 1 second. Captain Tazariak is in the chat, y'all. Shout out to Captain Tazariak. He's always working on the lives, you guys. Tune in to one of his lives. He does YouTube and TikTok, and he also sells body oils. So big shout out to Carl Gas Creations. I'm currently wearing, I think this one is Finish Him, but it's a yellow oil. I love it. It smells kind of like tropical. Again, shout out to Carl Gas Creations. You can find them on Etsy. Y'all, let me find my place in the chat real quick. Oh, I think he's finished. Y'all, give me 1 second. Let me find my place in the chat. But let me know, ladies. Let me know what else y'all want to talk about today, man. We can talk about whatever's on y'all mind. We don't have to limit it to, you don't just have to check in about postpartum. If you guys want to tap in about, again, tips and tricks for cleaning your home or what you did to maintain your sanity. Like, what did you do? You know, something that we always, Joey, Papa. Y'all, I gotta change this diaper. Give me 1 second. I hear you. I hear you. I'm right here. And I hear you. I hear you just fine. Okay. 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 Give me 2 seconds, you guys. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I'm just wrapping up. I'm almost done. So something that I found we often do is we tell each other, take care of you, make sure you're taking care of you, make sure you're getting your rest, make sure you're, you know, making sure that you're okay. So if we can have you guys tap in about what that looked like for you, like what did it look like for you to take care of yourself? How did you prioritize your well-being, your sanity, your mental health? What did you do to pamper yourself while you were healing postpartum? Or did you not have an opportunity? Like yesterday or a couple days ago, we were talking about pedicure, something as simple as going to get a little $20 pedicure. How are you ladies taking care of yourself during postpartum, okay? Let me tap in real quick. I'm going to find my place in the chat with TikTok, and then I'm going to tap in with the YouTube family real quick, y'all. Again, if you're just tapping in, I try to read everybody's comment and shout out everybody. Sneeze. Sneeze, Papa. Just to give y'all some backstory, we have a couple moms in here that are experiencing losses. So again, shout out to these moms. We have one mom here who just lost her mother and she is freshly postpartum. We have another mom on here, Bree, who just lost her grandmother. She's 8 weeks postpartum. We have moms on here with children who are 2 under 2. We have some first-time mommies on here. We have a mom who just checked in and she's pregnant with her second child after 8 years. We have a mom in here, I think that's 16 years, has a 16-year-old. So we have a full spectrum of different moms that are in different stages of whether it's pregnancy, their first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth child, a lot of different things going on. So you guys tap in, let us know what your situation is, and we'll definitely try to get all of these comments read and get all the ladies shouted out. And if y'all have any questions, if I can't answer them myself, I'm happy to read them out and ask any of the ladies to tap in. We had Call Me Big K recommend Lexi Pro, which is an antidepressant for any moms who are going through postpartum. If y'all want to tap in with your doctor, man, get help, because a lot of these things are not in our control. The emotions and the mood swings and the waves of rage. We even had some moms talk about feeling postpartum rage. So y'all tap in with your OB and whomever else you need to make sure that you're okay, because at the end of the day, you're the person who's taking care of these babies. You're not just taking care of yourself, man. You need to make sure that you're okay so that you can show up for these kids. Not only the kids, you need to be mentally sound for whatever else you're juggling. You have some moms on here that are going back to work, that are trying to figure out how to navigate switching from being a stay-at-home mom to a working mom, having to find daycare and adjust to being with their kids every day. And now they're trying to find somebody to trust to take care of their children. So a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different situations that if you can't relate to fully, you may still be able to give some tips and tricks or provide a resource for a mom who might not know where to look to get the help that she needs. Okay, you guys, so let's fill the chat with tips, tricks, advice. Right now we're talking about what you did to maintain yourself. I really felt a personal, it triggered me personally, and I hate to use the word triggered, but I remember looking through so many comments after I'd had my son and moms being like, take care of you, rest, 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 rest. And I'm just like, how the heck am I supposed to rest when I have to be up with this baby, running around this house, cleaning this house, and I have my 4-year-old, I got to get her to daycare and take care of her. And so it almost made me a little bit angry to constantly be seeing TikToks and videos about people saying, rest, prioritize your health and care. And I'm like, give me some actionable items on ways that I can prioritize myself and my well-being and my health. Don't just tell me, oh, you should be doing it. Like, tell me what I need to do. So if we have any moms here who can kind of tap in and give us some practical ways that we can make sure that we're okay on a day-to-day basis, y'all please tap in and share that. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes, Papa. Yes, my darling. Here. You don't want it? No, I don't want it. I want to express myself. All right, so the girls' room, I see you in here, Mama. I'm gonna read you out here in a second. Just let me find my place in the TikTok chat, and then I gotta hop over real quick right now to the YouTube family, because we have a few comments over there that we haven't gotten to. So y'all just bear with me. Again, if you're just joining, I like to shout out every single person, and I like to read every single comment. Thank you, Captain Tazariak, for the rose. Thank you for the encouragement and the love. You guys, any taps on the screen, thank you for the heart, Captain Tazariak. Any hearts on the screen, any engagement is greatly appreciated, and it doesn't go overlooked. So thank you guys for engaging and letting me know that y'all are tapped in and tuned in. Thank you for any of the moms out here. Big shout out to Call Me Big K for sharing that Lexapro tip. I wouldn't have even known about that because I've never experienced I've never taken an antidepressant, nor have I ever used Freedom Mom's Vicks. So there's some moms out here that may not know about Vicks options or medicine options for their newborn baby. We have a mom who shared that her baby had just gotten her shots, I think from one of the comments that I read. So how are you moms navigating dealing with when your baby gets sick after they get their vaccination? There's so many different topics, man. So many different things that we're trying to figure out and learn how to deal with these babies fresh out. So y'all tap in and share your thoughts and comments, okay? All right, so tapping in with the YouTube family. Let me scroll from my place in the chat. I apologize, but I do like to start off where I left off. All right. Kathleen, I know we touched base with Kathleen. I recently seen your videos. Okay. Lulu, I know we talked to Lulu. Yes, Papa. It's interesting to see your son. Yeah, so Lulu had her baby 2 months premature. And so her baby is... Yes, Papa. Are you okay? Even though her son and my son are the same age, both of them are 11 weeks old. Lulu's baby is a lot smaller because he came 2 months early. So if we have any other moms who are also having that experience, and a shout out to, we just had a mom, Deanna, I think it was you, babe, that just had your baby, and baby is in NICU. So shout out to the NICU moms, man, because that's another difficult thing to navigate, having your baby and then having your baby go straight to NICU. And NICU is no joke because you can't hold your baby the way you want to. You can't engage with your baby the way you want to when they're in the hospital like that, man. What? You didn't go to NICU, Papa. You didn't go to NICU, huh? Huh? You were okay, right? You were okay, Papa. Kathleen says, how much is it to have a baby over there? I know you have to pay, which is crazy. So depending on how much your insurance, some moms, man, if you qualify for Medicaid, I think you can go without having to pay anything. But with your insurance, it just depends on what your deductible is for how much you pay out of pocket. Or in my situation, I was able to kind of set up a payment plan with the hospital so I didn't have to pay everything up front. But it's very expensive. I kid you not. I think I went to see my OB twice after giving birth. So in 2026, I probably had 2 or 3 OB visits, and I'm already getting hit with a 10K doctor bill just from those couple of visits, you guys. So it can be very, very expensive to have a child. And that's all on payment plan, you guys, because I certainly do not have $10,000 or $11,000 to just drop real quick on a medical bill. But shout out to the parents and the moms out there who can, man. That's a blessing. Yvonne says, baby boy is gorgeous. God bless you. Thank you so much, Yvonne. Thank you. Thank you, honey. She says, bless in Jesus' mighty name. Devin says, have a nice day. Thank you, Devin. Thank you for checking in. We might have to pause, you guys, because baby needs some attention. Yeah. You don't want it? What do you want to do? You want to talk? Okay, talk. Let me see. Tell me, Papa. Tell me, Papa. Yeah. You sound like a dinosaur. Say, rawr. Wow. Yeah. Are you a dinosaur? Are you a Mayakosaurus Rex? Say, rah, 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 rah. Say, Mom, are you crazy? Are you a crazy lady? Yes. Yes, Papa. Yes, my Papa. All right. Let's bounce. Can we bounce so Mommy can read? Let's clean this baba. Let's clean this baba, huh? We got some baba. Lula says, I'm trying to get my hubby to go to another room with a crying baby so I can drink my coffee in peace, man. Shout out to Lulu, to all the mommies who just want to have their coffee or their tea. Can I have 5 minutes? Can I have 10 minutes to myself to have my coffee or my tea, man? I understand that completely. So I hope hubby comes through real quick so you can have your coffee, girl. Mafofa says, hello, I love weekends. She gets to spend time with her dad. She is in his arms, such a blessing. Absolutely, man. Absolutely love having the daddies around to engage with the babies. I know a lot of times, we were talking about earlier, a lot of the work falls on the moms, and you know, dads are still at work. They don't all tap into their paternity leave. So shout out to dad for being there to hold his princess and tap in and have some daddy-daughter time. Love that for you guys. The Fit Man Tribe says, definitely sending peace and love to those who are grieving. Yes, yes. Let's tap back in real quick and shout out our mamas who just lost their mother and grandmother. The mamas over here on TikTok. Okay, do you see Mayak? Do you see Mayak? Yes, do you see him? You gonna read the comments? You wanna read for YouTube? Let's read. You want to read? Let's read. Okay, let's read. Let's read, let's read, let's read. Definitely sending peace and love to those who are grieving. I also pray that all of us find balance and schedules that works for us moms. Most of us are surviving off of naps. Big facts, like tap, 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 tap. If you are a mama out there surviving off of naps, me, through the night, waking up every 2 hours, every 3 hours to do these feeds, or even during the day, man, trying to squeeze in a little 15, 20-minute nap on your lunch break. Surviving off of naps is so real. Thank you so much for bringing that up. The Fit Mama Tribe, absolutely. All right, T Nice. Lemon Stay 6701. Lemon Stay 6701 is 3 months in. Shout out to this mama. She is 3 months into her postpartum journey. Hope and y'all, I'm struggling. Hope and Darwin. I'm a postpartum mom. My little guy is 7 weeks as of yesterday. Shout out to Hope and Darwin. Her baby is 7 weeks, so fresh out of PP. We have a lot of postpartum moms who are 7 weeks, so shout out to you guys. Lemon Stay says, congratulations. Thank you, Lemon Stay. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing anybody's handle, okay? So lots of love and encouragement coming from Hope and Darwin. They say, congratulations, mamas. Lemon Stay says, kudos. What is it? You want me to rock you? You want me to rock you? Pat the butt. Pat, 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 pat. Oh, Papa. I know. It's so hard. It's so hard to be a pop-up's mom. I'm just a little baby. I know. I think I might sit on my my yoga ball and bounce him, you guys. So give me 1 second. So if you haven't ordered your pregnancy ball, you guys, it's definitely handy to have. Not just for before your labor, but also after pregnancy. So I've sat on this a couple of nights to kind of rock him while I'm putting my daughter to sleep. It's come in handy. Okay, Hope says, I agree. 4th baby, oldest is 20. What? Okay, her oldest is 20. She has a 17-year-old, a 10-year-old, and surprise, we have a 7-week-old via C-section. Amazing. Definitely a big age gap there. So this baby is going to be super loved with a 20-year-old sibling, a 17-year-old sibling, and a 10-year-old sibling, okay? He's going to have all the wisdom and guidance in the world. That's amazing. Martina Herbert says, hello, I just had my baby boy. He is 6 weeks, and my daughter is about to be 16, starting over. But I love children. So shout out to Martina, shout out to Hope, and shout out to the mama here on TikTok that also started at, she's having her second baby at 8 years when her first baby is 8 years old. So shout out to her. Shout out to these mamas, man. Oh, thank you so much, Martina. Martina's giving love and encouragement in the chat. I appreciate that. Excuse me. Hope and Darwin says, hey, mamas, what do you do if you have a fussy baby, but you just got cleared to go back to doing things after C-section? Do you just let them cry or what? That's an excellent question. I have had moments when I wasn't able to respond immediately to my son. I'm trying to adjust these a little bit, angle these down. Like if I have to, dude, sometimes I did have to let him sit there and cry for a couple minutes. Like if I have to go to the bathroom, if I have to have like private bathroom time, or even like if if your period is returning and you can't carry your baby, you can't sit on the toilet and take care of what you need to take care of when your body is experiencing that, or if you really need to take a freaking shower, if you need to hop in the shower for 5 minutes, I don't let him cry for extended periods of time, especially with him being so young. I know that that's a practice, like an actual practice that there's science behind, allowing the baby to figure out how to self-soothe and things like that. I see you and I hear you. I hear you and I see you. Yes, I see you. I hear you, Papa. You wanna bounce? Can we bounce? Can we bounce, 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 bounce? Ba, 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 ba. And again, if you're just tuning in, I'm checking in with two families here, TikTok family and YouTube family, so I'm not looking off to the side, ignoring you guys. I'm just trying to make sure I engage with both screens, okay? But yes, so tap in. Did you let your baby cry? And at what age did you find that that was the best practice for you and the way that you were training them? So I did have a few minutes here and there where I did have to let that baby, or even not even just showering or using the bathroom. If I'm at the stove, I know you can wrap your baby around you and put them in the carrier and carry them. But I'm like, if I'm dealing with hot oil or boiling water and I don't want to chance the baby being next to the stove, there's situations where it's more like a safety thing than anything, right? All right. But she was specifically asking about a C-section recovery, guys. So if we have, I didn't have a C-section, but if we have any moms in here. If we have any moms who have had a C-section and can relate to what they did or didn't do when healing and how they handled their crying baby, y'all please tap in. Dang, Hope also lost her mom. She says, I lost my mom last January and my grandmother 4 weeks ago. I thought I wrote somewhere in the chat, but I see that I'm not alone. Man, it's hard. Take care, mamas. Yes, so shout out to Hope, shout out to Bree, and shout out to my other mama on here who just recently lost her mom and she is freshly postpartum. So shout out to all you ladies. We're losing a lot of moms and grandmas. And again, those are very special people in our lives, especially when you are pregnant and postpartum. The first thought is to connect with your mother or your grandmother. You know what I mean? And so that's very difficult to experience. And I really, my condolences to all of you ladies, man. I may have to log off sooner than I wanted to, you guys. I don't want to let him get too irritated. I do have quite a few messages that I haven't had an opportunity to get back in with. But if y'all are available, maybe this afternoon after, if he goes down for a nap, I'll schedule a live to see if you guys are still on. I hate that I didn't get to tap in with everybody. Let me just scroll through real quickly to make sure I didn't miss any special chats, special. Okay, Papa. I see you and I hear you and I'm right here. I see you and I hear you and I'm right here. I want to make sure that I didn't miss anybody who may have shared something very personal, because I know that it takes a lot to be vulnerable. Hold on, my app. Y'all, give me 1 second. All right, cool. So let me just scroll through these real quick because baby boy is fussing, so I got to get out of here. I'm on mom duty. But again, want to make sure we didn't miss anything sensitive. All right, so doing a quick scroll, you guys. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Mama Sam, I see you, honey. Keeks. Lennis. Ability. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Amber. Pisces. Logan. Amber. Loganisa. Adriana. Thank you, guys, so much. Isha. Pretty Mama Rican. Natalia, I think you're a sis. Shalom, sis, if you are. Adriana. The girls' room. Pretty Mama Rican is currently pregnant. Congrats to you, Mama. Congratulations. The girls' room says, I'm on my second pregnancy with a toddler. I don't think the rage ends, honestly. So we have another mom who's experiencing some pregnancy and postpartum rage, okay? Nina Aliyah says, I don't do that work from home. I do that work from home as life insurance agent, and I'll tell you, it's hard with kids who want you 24/7. So yes, we've had other moms who have expressed, you know, that they work from home and they have their kids with them. And again, I shout you guys out, man, because it's definitely not easy trying to navigate juggling your screaming, demanding infant or toddler, and you have a headset on or you have a screen in front of you and you're trying to tap in with your job, especially if you're making calls. That's not an easy thing to navigate, man. So shout out to the mamas who are working from home and making it work to take care of these kids. Adriana, no, this is my second baby. Nina Ali says, yes, I got you, Nina Ali. 24 hours, 100%. Kay Hurt says, I'm 8 weeks and I've been following you for a few weeks and your page is very informative. Thank you, Mama. Thank you so much for tapping in with us, Kay Hurts. Congratulations to you. She, again, is 8 weeks postpartum. Okay, this man is sleepy. That's why he's fussing. Chrissy says, oh my God, I'm so ready to have my baby. How far along? Oh, she's 28 days. You got 28 days left? Wow, she's in the home stretch, you guys. I see you. Yes. You want to tap your butt? You want to do some butt taps? You want to do some butt taps? Yes, Papa. Yes, I see you. And I hear you. I see you. I see you and I hear you. Mm-hmm. Yes, Papa, I see you. Just for y'all's FYI, I have some coffee down here that I want to drink. I need to pee. I'm trying to tap in with y'all. I'm trying to engage with my baby. So listen, we try to juggle it all and balance it all, man. We definitely do. I appreciate y'all's patience. And I'm going to get to as many comments as I can, you guys. So he's at that phase where he wants to do eye contact. And I saw somewhere that I'm like, hi, Papa, I got a smile. I got a smile from my Papa. I saw somewhere that babies feel acknowledged when you look at them. So just in case any moms want to look into that, engaging with your baby or making sure that they feel seen. Hi, Papa. So I'll just go on off on a little tangent right now since I can't read the comments. Some things that I did for myself, just to tap back into that, we were talking about earlier, what you can do to take care of yourself while you're postpartum so that you feel okay, right? Mentally, you know, we always hear, take care of yourself, make sure you're getting your rest, and so on and so forth, but nobody really tells us what that looks like. For me, what that looked like was, in addition to getting up and making sure I shower every day. That sounds like such a small thing, but you'd be surprised to find out how easy it is to miss a day, to go 2 days without showering when you get caught up in these newborn trenches, y'all. So one of my big things was to make sure I showered every day, that I was intentional about brushing my hair and changing my nursing gown, changing my clothes to make sure that I wasn't staying in milk-stained clothes for a prolonged period of time. Also making sure I did my best to keep my house clean. And I needed to do that not because of the aesthetic of it, but because it helped my mental space to know where everything was, to know that if I turned around, I had diapers right next to me. I had wipes right next to me, that I kept this little caddy here stocked with all of the necessities. I also arranged it to include my daughter's pull-ups and things to brush her hair and comb her hair so that I had things that were easily accessible. So I made sure to, even when I didn't feel like it, to make sure the kitchen was clean, to make sure the dishes were put away for my mental health. Those are things that I did to make sure I was okay during postpartum and, you know, coming home fresh with the baby. Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa. Hi, Papa. And I am one of those women who is hyper independent, and it is a trauma response, and it's something that I haven't grown out of yet. So I know I have mamas out there who are also hyper dependent, and you don't know how to ask for help or to accept help when it's offered. So I did have to figure out ways to make my home more accommodating for myself, because I knew the type of personality that I have. What, Papa? Okay. Okay, Papa. Okay, Papa. I know. I know. Where's your bottle? All right. Guys, just in case, I do have
over 100 comments here on the TikTok side that I haven't had an opportunity to get to, but I'm sure you guys can understand he's very fussy, and I don't know if it's a sleep cry or a food cry. We were talking about that earlier, just to tap back into that. If you're someone who is a first-time mom and you're not clear on how to determine what your baby is crying for, they do make different sounds, and there are specialist doctors out there that create videos on how you can differentiate between if your baby is doing a sleepy cry, if they're doing a hungry cry. I think there's a way to pause this live, but I don't really know how to do it. So I may be hopping back on here later, and I want to ask Miss Chin if any of you have been on the live when Chin has been on here. She's been an excellent resource and has shared information about insurance and where to go to get your breast pump and different things like that. So if we can get her on here today, that would be amazing. I'll send a notification. I know it's Saturday, people are out and about doing their own thing, but for any mamas that are at the house chilling, like myself, you know, I'm not going anywhere if I don't have to. You guys tap back in, and if I missed your question, just re-enter it in the chat. Lastly, before I go, I want to send a lot of love and light and positivity to my mamas out here who hope and Bree, and I sincerely apologize for the mom who recently lost her mother and is freshly postpartum. I want to shout you ladies out again and send you guys condolences for the loss of the grandmothers and the moms out here in the chat. Shout out to all of the mamas who are currently pregnant, navigating their first time pregnancy, that are fresh out of C-section, and a big shout out to mamas who are juggling 2 children under 2 years old of age, under 3 years old of age, and so on and so forth. And last shout out to the mamas who are starting all over again. We do have moms here with 8-year age gap, 10-year age gap, 20-year age gap. So shout out to all of you guys. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the engagement. I sincerely apologize for not being able to get to every single comment. I really try my best, and I will likely tap back in when Mr. Man is asleep, which it looks like it very well may be soon. So if y'all are online, please tap in. I'll talk to you guys soon. And again, my deepest apologies for not being able to get to all the comments, you guys, okay?